Osia, what's up, beautiful souls? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mamina. You can call me Mina for short, or Divine Star Seed. This is a flip through / walkthrough for the Decolonized Tarot, a deck that centers on Filipino culture while also celebrating others. Gorgeous artwork, beautifully colorful, different skin tones, different body shapes. It's just so magical. I really believe if you're led to this deck that you will enjoy it. And it's also good to collect if you're just someone who collects tarot decks. I typically get ones that I'm divinely guided to receive. And this one stumbled upon my lap in very much the same way. It started off as a Kickstarter, and now I believe it's available for you to pre-order and receive on the regular. I will have the links to their Instagram as well as the links to the website that is sold on so that you can make a purchase. This is what came with the version I received. You can get, this is a basic book, but you can actually get a hardback book that has like more detailed descriptions of the art. It's really gorgeous. I plan on getting it when I can. I definitely recommend getting your hands on this while it's available. I'm not sure if they're planning on ever limiting it, so I do recommend it. The box is this beautiful buttery mesh, it just feels so good in my hands. And of course, it's one of my favorite kind because it is the magnet. And for those of you who know me, you know I love magnetic boxes. Without further ado, loves, let's get into the flip through. Be sure to subscribe and thumb up this video if you enjoyed this deck. Tell me what your favorite card was. Stay tuned to the end for an ancestor reading. That, my loves, was the Decolonized Tarot. Look at that beautiful gilding it comes with. It's absolutely gorgeous. Shuffles really well. Okay. I wouldn't be too heavy-handed with this. I'm not a heavy-handed shuffler myself. I do know some who are. If you don't want them to end up too bended, then I would be a little light-handed, but I do feel like it's still a sturdy deck, okay? I've already blessed the space, so let's tap into some guidance for you guys from your ancestors using this beautiful tarot deck here. What guidance do the ancestors have for you? We have the moon. Ooh, landed right where it wanted to be too. What message do your ancestors have here for you? My loves, with this moon energy, I feel many of you still are afraid of going after your dreams. You're still afraid of if something doesn't work out the way that you planned it to. But what you need to understand, your ancestors, your guides, and I do separate a little bit here. Your guides can encompass your ancestors, your spirit and soul team, and then the divine is like that all-encompassing source, right? You are supported on all those levels. Your ancestors have already laid the ground for some of what you want to do here, but by no means have they laid that ground for you to be a carbon copy of it, which means the intuitive way that you feel you must move, what feels good to your spirit and good to your soul, that is the way to go. They've put some seeds here. They've opened up some doors so that you don't have to work as hard to go through them. How you go through them and what you manifest as you do that, that relies on you. There's no such thing as an insignificant thought. And with that being said, there's no such thing as insignificant action. Do not be afraid to take action with what is calling to your soul. Don't be afraid to give nourishment and life to that which is calling. Now, this may be a process for some of you with this Seven of Pentacles here. It's taking a minute to kind of feel like things are ripe enough to pluck off the tree, so to speak. But you will know. You will know when it's time to take action. We have the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is someone who normally doesn't like sitting still, kind of impatient at times. In this energy, I feel like your fear may be holding you back, but there's a passion, there's an energy in you that's like, I can really do this. I can actually achieve this goal. It's just, what if I fail? What if I move too fast? What if I'm not charismatic enough? You have all the charisma needed. You have all of the intuitive notion needed. The moon is coming out here for some of you as fear, for others is coming out as dreams and intuition. I feel like you're receiving messages from your ancestors, not just in a dream state, but someone is sitting in a room and then they just start hearing the voice of a loved one that has transitioned over, and the voice is giving you the advice on what you need to do. For most of you, it's feeling like a grandmother spirit. Even though we have the King of Wands here, I'm feeling more like a very dynamic grandmother or a very dynamic auntie. You know, and auntie doesn't have to necessarily be someone related to you. It can just be someone older that you have a lot of respect for, and you've called them auntie. They were really important to you. There's somebody who always told you you are capable. Even when you think you aren't, you are. And what they've instilled in you, the seeds that they've planted in your subconscious, if you were to allow that to take better root, to expand out of the soil, to actually grow and bud, you would find that just like they told you, you have everything in you. They wouldn't have left you with what they, gave to you and what they bestowed upon you if you weren't ready and if you weren't capable. Okay. So for some of you, it's a fear. For others, you're kind of maybe just questioning, following your intuition, because maybe you think you're a little crazy. You're like, I'm hearing the voice. You're really hearing it. Like you're sitting in a room. So for somebody, it was like you were on a computer, because I'm seeing a computer, and you were just kind of spaced out for a minute. And I always say, when you guys have that moment of staring at nothing, ask yourself, who's speaking to me? With protection, with divine protection around me, who is speaking to me in respect to my energy? And you will find most of the time a thought comes through, an answer, a thought. It comes through as a thought, it comes through as a voice. And in this case, you're hearing someone familiar to you. And again, I do pick up on like an auntie or a grandmother vibe who's telling you that you have all the tools necessary to move, to take action. You have all of the charisma necessary. If you feel like sometimes you're not the best at describing things, they're going to help you with that. They're coming in to help you with that. So don't worry if you've had a stuttering issue in the past, or if you just, for some reason, you just feel like you're not always that great at conveying your plans. There is a person coming in to assist you, but I also feel like your ancestors through dream work will also be assisting you. Again, the seeds have already been planted, and the things that you've also been planting in the spirit realm, they've been nourishing that. So please pay attention to the signs that they give you, because you do receive them. You just sometimes question them, and they don't want you to question anymore. It's time for you to really get ecstatic about what it is that you want to do here. Really get excited. I feel like there's an energy just sitting in you, waiting to burst through, and they fully support this energy. They're like, yes, like we're here with you. You don't understand. All of your guides, all of your ancestors are collaborating for your highest good. And they believe that if you walk the path of your destiny, you will get where you need to be. You just have to trust the process. Okay, trust in the process here. And again, intuition coming through. I also feel like the Queen of Cups is confirming this auntie or grandmother vibe that I'm picking up on. And again, if it's an auntie, it may not be someone related to you by blood. They're connected to you in a very strong way, though. You might even come from two different cultures, but I feel like you've embraced theirs and they embraced yours. They taught you a lot of things that maybe other people in your immediate family couldn't teach you, couldn't convey to you. They understood you in a way others couldn't. And they've bestowed all this love and all this rich knowledge into you so that you can carry it forward. But again, it's not about being a carbon copy, right? Traditions can change. They can evolve. You keep the core, because traditions really carry lessons. They're not here for you to just kind of repeat and that's it. There's a lesson. There's a doorway that was open. There's communication that can flow through it. And in that, you gain the intuition necessary to know when you may have to change the dial a little bit. Okay, when you might have to change some things around with respect. I feel like that's going to make sense to who it needs to make sense for. That's what I'm intuitively picking up. It's going to make sense for who it needs to make sense for. They want me to dive in just a little bit deeper, so let's do that. I'm seeing like a straw chair on a porch, and in front of this porch, it's like palm trees. I see like maybe 2 palm trees on either side of this porch. I can't see what's in front of it, so I'm not sure if it's in a neighborhood or if this is like a house that's on its own property. So there might be a lot of space. I don't see any immediate homes around it, but this is significant for somebody. This straw chair might have been left to you, or maybe when you think of this ancestor, you think of them in this rocking chair. It's a straw rocking chair. It looks handmade. It could be bamboo. It might actually be bamboo. I'm trying to see it more clearly. It's kind of fuzzy, but there's like a person. Maybe this is a fuzzy memory for you. This person might have transitioned when you were fairly young. And that's kind of one of the things you remember about them. I feel like you remember the scent of their perfume, which is this floral. It's like a floral scent. It's very pleasant. And you remember them sitting in this chair and rocking. And you're not, maybe your memory isn't sure if it's bamboo or it's straw. I feel like it's probably bamboo. And they're sitting just like how she is right here. But they're rocking back and forth. That's a fond memory. I feel like maybe they used to tell you stories on that porch, for whoever that's meant to resonate for. We have the Hermit here. The light that you seek, it's within you. The knowledge that you've been seeking is also within you. Everything you need, it's coming from the inside out. Your spirit isn't limited to your body, okay? But your body has a way of translating into the physical world what it is that it receives in a very practical, down-to-earth way. But I feel like they want you to kind of expand your mind, be more open here. Some of you kind of restrict your gifts because you restrict how you believe they should work. You put limitations where there's no need for there to be a limitation. You might have to go into solitude a little bit here. Now, I'm not saying that you have to cut yourself off from all people, but maybe take a weekend and just sit with yourself, sit in meditation, communicate with this ancestor, communicate with your ancestors. I always give you guys the heads up, not all ancestors may be good ones, okay? We've had many different people in our bloodlines that have done many different things, provoked or otherwise. The ones that wish the best for you will never guide you astray. So if somebody is a little weary because I feel like someone has dealt with that, you've dealt with an ancestor leading you astray before, you can cleanse yourself of that energy. Some ancestors, to cleanse toxic or karmic energy in their mind is to take away from a timeline that they haven't fully let go of in spirit. But the ones that are helping you here, they want to help you cleanse whatever was blocking you. Okay, cleanse whatever might have put some type of halt on how the family responds. So I feel like you might be the black sheep of your family. You might be the one who's like always going out on your own. Even if you follow the traditions, like you might follow your cultural traditions and you have relatives that don't follow it the way that you do, or they don't follow it to the ladder that you do. And it's not that you force your view on anybody, but they truly try to force how they view it should be done on you. So for example, when I was growing up, and it was time to dance in the circle at our ceremonies, I danced the way spirit moved me. Yes, there are steps. Yes, those steps can be taught to you. But when spirit moves you, it can be very different. I was born with a twin who didn't make it. So a lot of times when he enters the space, he enters my presence, my moves might at times be a mix between feminine and masculine. I can't disrespect his spirit to please how people think something should be done. Because the elders I grew up with made it very clear that when spirit moves you, that supersedes. And not everybody is that courteous, and not everyone understands that. Some people become very accustomed, especially if they feel like something of their culture is not dying but isn't as known or isn't as celebrated. They have a tendency of clinging. And that's why I feel like, again, your ancestors wanted to reiterate to you, it's not about being a copy. Spirit is going to move you, and sometimes the way it moves you might be a bit different than what others are accustomed to. In fact, it might be older, more ancient. And those who are used to a more modern twist of how things are done, they're not going to get you at first. However, those who are deeply connected will feel you. I've sat in circles with elders that didn't know me from a can of paint and have told my parents, here's what your daughter can do, without me ever having to open my mouth and say anything, and gave me room to display my gifts and display what those talents were without feeling like I had to hide them because of my age or because of what someone thought I should or should not do. I never felt ashamed when sitting around those elders, when communicating with spirits, when communicating with different guides. And I feel like some of you might have lacked that, and you struggle with that, and you find yourself sometimes hiding what you're capable of. But again, they've opened the door for you, and they've bestowed everything in you that you might need. If you need to pull away and go a little bit within yourself to connect again with that energy that you might have kind of locked away, do so. You're being called to do so. Again, this is a collective reading. Take what resonates for you. I'm picking up on a lot of different people, but that was important to share. Okay? Something about milk and honey is significant. Something about milk and honey is of significance here. The mixing, the stirring. Milk and honey tea. Milk and honey tea is significant to someone here. You have a strong foundation in your ancestry, beautiful person. You have you're able to balance things that are forgotten. That's how they're saying it to me. You can balance things that are forgotten. What you think is lost to you is within you. So again, the more that you tap within, the more that you bring it out. They will help you by sending signs and synchronicities and guidance. And they want you to be open to what that guidance is But don't lose yourself. And don't lose being able to tap in on your own. And truthfully, any of us that give you guidance, we give it to you so that you can tap deeper into yourself, not to cut you off and make you codependent on an outside energy. So yeah, some of you are like the black sheep of your family. For others, it's not that your family don't love you, you're just different. They would probably also describe you that way, like, oh, you know, so-and-so's just different. We love them, but they're different. Take what resonates for you. Where you were once unstable, you're going to find yourself becoming stable again. The foundation is within you. It's within and around you. Be mindful of your thoughts. I'm not saying to restrict your thoughts, but catch yourself when you find yourself doubting. Okay? Doubts and fears don't need to be here, and intuitively you know that already. The moon isn't always here just to represent fears and worries and illusions and all of that. It's a dream state. And the dreams that you have are prophecies in a sense. And sometimes they come in cryptic ways, but if you took a moment, they wouldn't be so hard to figure out. You're piecing together the puzzle. You're figuring out the best laid plan. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with your growth. Okay? Listen to that spark within you that's trying to communicate. Listen to it clearly. And when it tells you to take action, take action. Turn a deaf ear to things that are weighing you down. Somebody's energy here feels a bit heavy, right? A little lonely too, as if like as you go through this discovery, you've been a little bit lonely. You might have a lot of people around you, but you kind of feel that you've been abandoned, but you haven't. And I'm seeing that rocking chair again. So for some of you, the rocking chair is a memory of a relative or someone who was like a relative to you who still watches out for you. For someone else, it could be a metaphor. Maybe you see it in your dreams and you're trying to figure out what it is. I feel like it's a peaceful, tranquil place. When you meditate, go back to that place. The person sitting there is very much connected to you and has a lot to teach you. And my loves, I don't want this to be too long. 1717, as I close this out, that was your message. Peace, love, and light, beautiful soul. If you enjoy the vibe around here, be sure to subscribe and, of course, check out my oracle decks. See you next time.